Welcome, everyone. This is another episode of Fred Speaks. My subject today is purpose. And when you think of purpose, you think of reasons for which something exists, or is done, or made, or used, um, an intended or desired result, end, aim, or goal. Those are a few meanings or definitions for purpose. I wanted to talk about a couple key people, and one being Martin Luther King. And Martin Luther King, he served a purpose in which he gave a voice to civil rights or the civil rights movement, which worked for equal rights for all. And I was thinking about Martin Luther King, and he it was such a powerful he was such a powerful presence and voice. And I was thinking about how, or whether when he was a growing up, whether there was signs of different things, different events that occurred during his life that he was able to look back on and just say, oh, so that happened, or this event happened, and it was all building blocks to make me uh, the person to fulfill my purpose. And another person I wanted to mention is Barack Obama. And as you know, Barack Obama became the 44th president of the United States of America. And also, he was the first African American to serve in the office. And just thinking back on what Martin Luther King's purpose was, and that was that he was working towards or working for equal rights, that everybody deserved a chance to be given the rights to do whatever it was, to be whatever they wanted to be, most of all to be treated as equal. That was a something that contributed to and led to Barack Obama becoming the first African American president of the United States. And then I also look at Barack Obama and I'm like, okay, was there something as he was growing up that were, signs, events, or whatever that he could look back on and say, oh, okay, I saw all of these things occurring in my life as I was growing up, and they were all building blocks to make me the person to fulfill my purpose. And that's good looking at these key figures that play a very important uh, uh, played a very important role in the history of the United States. Um, but I want to focus this podcast on normal, everyday people uh, and what our purpose is. Because a lot of times you think about, as you're going through different things, experiencing different things in your life, and you're like, what is my purpose? Why am I here in this grand scheme, this big world? Why was I born? What was the purpose or need of me uh, being a part of this world? And it's a good question because I believe everybody has a purpose. I was thinking about a woman who, uh, she had children, and she lived long enough that for her children to become adults. She lived long enough to raise them. and then she was gone. And so I just want to, kind of talk about this today. Is like, because I think everybody needs to know, what is my purpose? I know I have a purpose, but how do I tap into this purpose? And as I was mentioning with MLK and Barack Obama, it's, things as you're growing up, you find yourself, you're drawn to maybe it's an interest, or maybe there's a characteristic about you, whether it's loving towards people or caring towards children, um, just that good listener to people who are having problems, um, being able to provide good feedback and advice to people, just, different things that you can look back on and you can see, like, man, I've been doing all of these things all my life. And I never knew that there was a purpose for it. And I think about myself, there's been some things that I've experienced that have brought out a love, that I didn't even know existed in me, but that love for people. And but I didn't know how or what was the purpose of the love, um, and what capacity that God wanted me to be used to fulfill my purpose. And I will say that there's been different uh, places that God have, allowed me to be in, that I can truly say that love really magnified or made itself present. And I just want to for you to really think about and really do some uh, personal assessment for yourself of what your purpose is, and to really have some thought about this, and some, like I said, an assessment, and communication with God of what is our purpose? What is your purpose? What is the things that you really should be focused on, that when you leave this life, um, MLK is no longer with us, but we'll always know him for uh, the civil rights movement, giving a voice to those that could not speak for themselves, those who were oppressed and beaten down, and some killed. He gave a voice that could not be denied, a powerful voice. Um, and so we know him for that. We know Barack Obama for being the first African American president. We know him for that. And that's something that'll always be part of history, and be spoken of. But again, in your circle of people, the people that you deal with, um, what is your purpose? What kind of impact can you have on a neighborhood, a child, you know, uh, somebody in need? What is that purpose? And then, do you see where you're being led to fulfill that purpose? Because sometimes there's a purpose for us. And I think about Jonah in the Bible. God had a purpose for Jonah to go to Nineveh to preach to the people there. But Jonah didn't want to go. He refused to go, and he went, he went another direction. He did not want to go. And I think about myself, there's been times where I knew God had something for me, but I was going another direction. I wasn't ready for what God wanted me to do and to make the commitment and to say, here I am, whatever your will is. So sometimes the purpose can be right there and it's right in our face, but we may be running for it. And then there's other times where we really just don't know. We don't know what our purpose is. And that's I want everyone that is in that place where you just don't know what your purpose is. You're around many people, you interact with a lot of different people, but you really don't know what is your purpose. And so I encourage you to, whether it's spiritual advice, consulting with God, um, personal assessment, and just really, finding that purpose, what God made you, um, placed you in this world. What was the purpose? Why are you here? And I believe everybody deserves to know that. And I think your life is more meaningful when you know that you have a purpose. I have a purpose in this big world, even if it's just to impact one child, or one adult, or some family over in Puerto Rico that really needs help right now, needs some food or water, whatever it is they may need, that they may survive. You know, perhaps that is your purpose, to be able to do missionary work, where you're able to go and reach people, both spiritually and naturally. You know, so we all have a purpose. But like I said, once you find out what your purpose is, then now you're able to work and progress, because now you know why you're here in this world full of billions of people. Why do I matter? Why am I here? How can I be a help? Um, and so, like I say, it gives your life more meaning. Just being here and just saying, well, I'm here, I'm just, you know, I mean, that at the end, when it's all over, not that you're looking for any glory, but you want it to be left on record that I helped to make things better. I made an impact through my life. I made an impact. If it's only, like I said, one child or one adult that you can, whatever it is that God has purposed you with, that you can fulfill that, and that you can help somebody. And that's what I'm asking God, that whatever his purpose and will for me, that I be very effective, that I be good at what he has purposed me to do, that whoever life or lives that I impact or I touch, that I come in contact with, that I will leave them better, leave them in a better place. That if it's just a kind word or a good gesture, that I leave them better than when I encountered or I found them or cross path with them. That they're better, and they remember that I remember that this person, when I was in this situation, God sent them my way, and they were able to do this for me. If it's nothing but a kind word, that goes a long way. And there's some people who, I'm telling you, that you encounter, and I don't care if they're having a bad day or whatever, it seems like they always have something positive to say, and I know everybody has their stuff that they deal with, but if you've been purpose to be that person that can have, if it's nothing but a few words, and just in those few words you impact somebody where they were contemplating doing something they shouldn't do, or they didn't feel like living, and just your words, that's a great purpose, that have that type of characteristic, that you're able to speak words that impact somebody else. So we all have a purpose, and the thing is tapping into that purpose. And then once you tap into it, I'm telling you, your life is more meaningful, because now you know that I'm not just here, but I'm actually here because of a purpose. God intended me to be here to serve a purpose. And so I think it's very important. And this subject, as I'm speaking about it now, it really motivates me to be very and want to be very in tune with my purpose God has given me. And I truly believe that God has put in me a love and a care for people. And there's several different roles that God has given me that allows me to share that. And I'm so thankful, because I know it's nothing that I have done, or that I went and learned or anything. Like, God just gave it to me. And I think once you have something, a purpose, I mean, it's worth, doing your very best, to fulfill it, to share it, to use it. And trust me, the people that are impacted by it, they will remember. They will remember. You may think they won't, but they will remember, because if you're serving your purpose, I'm telling you, God will bless you, that others will be touched through your purpose that He's intended for you. And I was thinking about, because I know somebody's probably saying, well, what if your purpose is to do evil or do something bad? And I believe that all things work together for the good. That even when, uh, you know, like for example, with Jesus, He had 12 disciples, and one of them betrayed Him. But see, Jesus was sent to serve a purpose. He was sent to die for the sins of the whole world. So even though Judas did an evil thing, out of that, it led Christ to fulfill His purpose. So Judas had a purpose, and most people will focus on what that was evil. He betrayed Him. He did betray Him. But out of that became something good, that it led Jesus to give His life, that you and I might have a right to the tree of life. So I believe that whatever your purpose is, that all things work together for the good, to them that love God and are called according to His purpose. So everything that happens, it's like I was saying about Martin Luther King and Barack Obama. Different things that happen in our lives are like building blocks, to get us to the place that we might fulfill our purpose. So I hope that everyone that is listening in, um, that you are able to tap into your purpose. I don't want to, we spend a lot of times looking at what somebody else is doing, and oh, that's great, they're doing this and they're doing that. But trust me, you have your own purpose. And started today, as you listen to this podcast, you need to start to ask God to show you, to lead you to what He has purpose for you to do in this world, in this life, that you might fulfill your purpose, and that others will be impacted in a positive way. That Um, I was thinking about, because most people, it's like, I don't want the purpose if it's going to be something that is going to cause me pain or, um, but sometimes, in getting to fulfill your purpose, you have to endure some pain. Um, but I was thinking about John, he was the forerunner for Jesus. And John found himself being in prison, you know, and his confidence became flaky, or wavery because um, now he's in prison. And when we get in conditions and situations, then we start to doubt and wonder, like, okay, is this right in what I'm doing, or whatever. And he John had followers. He told us to go see, is this the one, that I've been, preaching and talking about? Is he the one, And all Jesus did was told him to go tell him the things you've seen and heard, the miracles I've done. Just tell him that, you know. And although John lost his life, he lost his life for a purpose. His purpose was to let others know about Jesus Christ, and even when we find ourselves in situations that it seems like, why am I doing this? There's a purpose. And if you can, in John's case, if you can lead many to Christ, then you served your purpose. You served your purpose. And so, just getting back to the subject, purpose, purpose, my reason. Why am I here? What is my reason for being here? Why did God make me? Why did my mom and dad get together and it led to me? What is my purpose? And so, everybody that listens to this podcast, I hope that you somewhere can tap into what God has intended you to do. What is your purpose? Whether it's affecting one child, or many children, or some adult, some woman, some man, and you can affect their lives, some community, some country, in some way. If you can affect those people's lives, and some things may not be uh, broad or visible to the public, um, like Martin Luther King or Barack Obama, but you can serve a purpose that nobody knows on a national level, but your next door neighbor can be impacted. The person on your job can be impacted. The person you encounter in the grocery store or at the gas station. Just some words from you, or just being in your presence, can impact them where they were thinking about committing suicide. Just a kind word, let them know that, hey, I believe I can go on another day. I have so much to be thankful for. I have children, or I have loved ones, and just through you. So we all have a purpose. You may not end up being a civil rights movement leader or president of the United States, but you can be great in the lives of the ones that are close to you and the ones you come in contact with. You can be great. So tap into what your purpose is. Find out what that is, and then put all your energy and your strength into it, because you don't know when your end is. But however much time you have in this life, serve your purpose. And I hope that everyone got something out of this podcast today. And I would love to get any comments, feedback, and we look forward to the next episode of Fred Speaks. Have a good day.